Oh, where's my other script at? You took that off?
What?
The
Yeah, Mr. Bibb said to change it to that for hot breaking news. You didn't go over that with Red and Fair?
you just wanted me to just say, you just wanted me just to go over this part, just right here? Just the introduction? The introduction is not on here.
From where it starts off with hot breaking news.
Okay.
So you're still gonna sing the song,
Uh-huh.
and after
And
singing
just
the
the song, just say
you'll
hot breaking
say,
news.
"There's some hot breaking news."
Got you. Okay.
Can you do it Ben Fair style?
Yes. Okay. Pete. No baggage, just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready podcast with the political legendary guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. Guess what? We have some hot breaking news just for you today. We have the Key Bank is the worst bank in Cuyahoga County for African Americans in making loans, according to Cuyahoga County government report in Cleveland Plain Dealer. Cleveland.com says that
you know where it's gonna be. What
Cuyahoga, that Key Bank is the worst bank in Cuyahoga County. The Bibb's video podcast, People Get Ready, will hold a summit on what can African Americans do about the Key Bank's bad report. The summit will be held Saturday, April 29th, 2023 at Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Public Library, 1961 Stokes Boulevard, Cleveland, Ohio. And that zip code is 44106. The time is 1 p.m. Doors open at 1 p.m. Refreshments served. 1:30, the summit starts with guest speakers. And 4:30, the summit ends. For information, all organizations and churches are welcome to attend the summit and speak on that subject. At this time, gives me great pleasure to introduce the psalm and present to others the political guru, the CEO of People Get Ready podcast, the legendary Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Fair. You're getting better and better each week. Each week you're getting better and better. And I'm sorry we had to interfere with our regular programming to bring the Key Bank programmer, but we're not gonna let Key Bank do African Americans in Cuyahoga County the way they've been doing them. So we're gonna have to have some business with Key Bank. You can call us Northern Tennessee now.
All right, all right.
We're gonna take it to them.
Yes, sir.
They got to do better.
They got to do better.
One of the things, Reverend, is holding us back, and the gap is wide on creative wealth, is you don't own any homes. 80% to 40%. European American, African American, they cannot do that, because we'll be working on that at the summit on what's our next step. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, Mr. Bibb.
Is Miss Joanne Holly in the house?
She has not joined us yet.
Miss Joanne Holly has not joined us. So we're going all the way down Miss Karen Murray Banks to Atlanta, Georgia. There's Mr. Jeff Payton in Atlanta, Georgia in the house.
Yes, sir. How are you all? Happy Wednesday, hump day.
All right, very good. Glad to hear from you. That was an awesome session last night with my good man, Ken Robertson. And I have a special a project for him. And we and him need to get together right after we finish dinner after the show tonight. Thank you. I'll be
Uh,
calling you a little later, probably around 9:30 tonight. Thank you.
sounds
Go
sounds
on,
good. It's
bring us up to
my pleasure.
date. What's happening with Life Wave and why I sent that awesome email to Ms. Karen Murray Banks. Check your email, Ms. Banks. You'll see something that I sent you. Thank you. Go right ahead, Mr. Jeff Payton.
Right. Well, thank you, sir. Mr. Bibb, it's always a pleasure to be under the sound of your voice. You carry such wisdom and the power to move people. I'm excited to be on the podcast tonight because each week we're introducing something more and more exciting about the timing of the LifeWave project. Of course, X39 is the priority in this particular company for us to do direct marketing or direct sales with. And this tool is amazing. There are so many fantastic testimonies about what this product is actually doing for people without it being invasive, without it injections or any oral ingestives. The idea that something so simple as light that's already in invading your body can actually be lit to a point where your stem cells are reactivated, stimulated, and some generated. This product is awfully powerful. There are so many people that are benefiting from the product, and I just happen to be one of them. I'm super excited. I one of the people who had a stroke 3 years ago, and reached a plateau in my life where I felt as though I couldn't get any better. But thanks to LifeWave, I've gone beyond that plateau, and now I'm almost functioning at 100%. So something so simple as a tiny little patch, just attached to your body, without it being any medicine or giving you some kind of drug-induced side effect, that's all divine, you know? But the beauty of it is that not only is LifeWave providing a tool for you to heal your body, but it's also providing a tool for you to heal your wallet. Now, that's key in what we're being a part of, being involved in here with, because the company has structured a marketing plan. The marketing plan was binary to make sure that everybody wins. And that's a beautiful thing because most companies only structure their pay scale for the individual. But with this particular binary plan, you're going to win. The person that you introduce to the business part of the company is going to win. People that you introduce as a customer are going to win because there's healing in this process. And just imagine this: with a company that's fresh, and if they've come up with this ingenious marketing plan, you could be in a position to earn $25,000 per week. Per week. Now, better yet, what if you were in a position to just earn $1,000 a week? No, better yet, let's say $500 a week. Would it help anybody under the sound of my voice? Because see, this is designed for everybody to win. But here's the thing. Let's say you maximize this whole concept and decide you want to make $25,000 a week. That's $100,000 a month. That's $1 million per year, over $1 million per year. Guys, everything is put in place. I'm asking you, and under Mr. Bibb's leadership in the Ohio area, get with Mr. Bibb, Candace, Reverend Fair. They'll explain to you just how this operation actually works. And I'm going to be on this end, absorbing all the information. As a matter of fact, call me if you're serious. Mr. Bibb has my number. have them give you my number to connect with me, and we will definitely ensure your success in this opportunity. So I want to hear from all of you at some point in time.
All right, Mr. Jeff Payton, do me one favor. I have a heavyweight professional salesman on our host committee. His name is James Jerome Bell.
Yes, sir.
He's one of the top real estate persons in Calgary County, and he also works at a national furniture chain. Would you just give him the number that you want him to call you on so that he can get hooked up? Because we want all our hosts to be involved. And you remember Ms. Sharon Pittman that you had to give special attention to?
I do. And I spoke with Ms. Pittman the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, who's doing well. She's staying on the patch. Her testimony seemed to be growing. But yes, indeed. Let me give you that number right here, right now. Mr. James Jerome Bell, I've spoken to you before. The number is 216-413-8711. That's 216-413-8711. Call me within before 11 o'clock or after 8 o'clock a.m. 11 o'clock p.m. after 8 o'clock a.m. So I appreciate it. I'm about to turn it back over to you, Mr. Bibb.
Okay, I appreciate that, Mr. Payton, because I'm going to need you to set up something special for Mr. James Jerome Bell because of his availability. And I know you can have it down there. If you can't, tell Ken I need this one bad because he's a top salesman in at least 2 different operations.
Well, I tell you what,
right. You did talk to him once before.
Ken and I both will make sure that Mr. Bell has all the success he deserves.
All right, thank you and good job.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're gonna move right along. Reverend Ben Fair, speaking of hot situations, are you ready to bring us up to date on Tennessee?
Oh, yes,
The
absolutely.
state representative, them young men down there are really rolling.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, with the report that we have coming out of Tennessee, Mr. Bibbs, is the state rep Justin Pearson has been reinstated to Tennessee's House after expulsion. Nashville, Tennessee, the second of 2 Black Democrats who were kicked out of the Republican-led Tennessee House, followed his colleagues back to work at the Capitol on Thursday, a week after their expulsion for participating in a gun control protest propelled them into the national spotlight. State Rep Justin Pearson of Memphis, Tennessee, was sworn in Thursday outside the State House the day before Shelby County commissioners unanimously voted to reinstate him. Yes, indeed. Happy Resurrection Day, Pearson said Thursday morning as he signed papers for his return. There will be a few new buildings of this building with a foundation built on love, Pearson said during a fiery speech outside the Capitol after being sworn in, with pillars of justice rising up, with rafters of courage covering us, with doors that are open to everybody in the state of Tennessee, not just rich somebodies, but everybody, not just straight somebodies, but everybody, not just Republican somebody, but everybody. The Nashville Metropolitan Council took only a few minutes Monday to restore Jones to office. He was quickly reinstated to his House seat that day. The appointments are in turn through both Jones and Pearson planned to run in special elections for the seats later this year. Mr. Bibbs, those young men are back in their seats in the House in Tennessee where they belong.
And
So,
that was not a moment, it's a movement.
mhm,
The biggest movement across this country for African Americans since the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm telling you, we haven't had anything like that.
mhm.
Within 24 hours, the Vice President of the United States was down there in Tennessee meeting with them, giving them the support they need. That's why within 48 hours, they were on every news show that we have in the United States. And with 2 weeks, everybody in the country who understand government knew about it.
Yes, sir.
And they're growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're just 27 years old. State representative.
Mhm.
They're setting a new level. They raised the bar. We're going to the next wave now. They're not going away. On Monday, this Monday just passed, they had more Monday down there.
Mhm.
More Monday.
More Monday,
Yeah, the bishop was down there.
All
Some
right.
of you know the bishop.
Yes.
Yeah, for more Monday, Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
It came from everywhere. So this is the beginning of a new generation of leaders. So bring a report back next week because you'll have something to report.
All right.
Just stay right on that.
All right.
All right.
So this is a movement now, Mr. Bibbs.
Not a moment.
Mhm.
Biggest one since Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And I can say that because I worked with him. And he came the same way, except he had to come from the deep south to the north. That was a long way at that time
Mhm.
because African Americans in Cleveland thought they were free, even though they couldn't swim at Euclid Beach. And they had a special section that had to swim at Wood Hill Park. You didn't know that, did you?
Mhm.
They had to end down the African Americans go down there, right up there on the 16th and Woodland.
Mm.
Couldn't swim. And good as I could skate, and I could skate too.
Mhm.
I couldn't skate out of Euclid Beach.
Mm.
And I was good and grown when I found out that the city owned Euclid Beach. I didn't know that back in those days.
Wow.
All we could do was look in the window. That's when Martin Luther King came to Cleveland.
Wow.
Right. So this is the first national movement since then. And I think this generation is gonna take it to another level. We're gonna have some real freedom. That's why we can't let Key Bank take advantage of it. And we're gonna see about that also.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Very good report.
You're welcome.
Now, those were hosts you heard so far, and now you got a guest. Ms. Karen Murray Bank is here to inform us about this month, April, what this month means and that kind of a thing. Ms. Karen Murray Banks, explain it all to us. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Bibb. April is Autism Awareness Month. I am Karen Murray Banks, the founder of For Spectrum Safe and Others. We provide support to caregivers and families with disabled loved ones. What is autism? Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects an individual at birth. What do we mean by neural? Neural means affects the nervous system. That could be or relate to sensory skills, motor skills, language skills, social skills, as well as speech skills. Now, the key to autism, there are many. Early detection. It has been researched and determined that autism can be detected in a child as young as 6 months old. That means parents and guardians pay close attention to your child or your loved one and check their milestones to see if they're moving along gradually like they should based on the paperwork as it relates to a child's growth mentally. Do not compare them with the siblings because every child and individual is unique and different. So early detection, plus you need early diagnosis. When you go to the physician, let them know everything that's different or that concerns you as it relates to your child. And that equals early intervention. Detection, diagnosis, and intervention. Okay. Okay. Great. Are you following? Great. Now, our organization is successful with helping people find the resources that they need based on not only the age of the individual, because we service all ages. Autism, based on the research, is irreversible. So your child has the traits or is diagnosed with autism, autism spectrum, or autism spectrum disorder. The terminology keeps changing as the condition evolves. So we help the families by giving them resources based on the priorities. When you receive a diagnosis from the specialist, it's important to remember a lot of the diagnosis may be utilized as what they call dual diagnosis. Most of the time, if an individual has a disability, you are dealing with more than one disability. So that means dual treatment. You will be working on 2 or 3 different disabilities at one time. So that's important for a person to remember. There are several treatments and therapies that are utilized for autism. Treatment includes medication. However, I recommend that you try music, art therapy, speech therapy, other therapies, even sign language, in the event that your child suffers from language delay. Thank you. It works well with sign language. Now, I would also like to say the information that I'm sharing with you today is from a parental perspective, because I've had the wonderful joy and pleasure of working with a child with autism for 24 years. So our organization does specialize in providing information for those who want to know how to help their loved ones on the autism spectrum. I can be reached at KARENMURRAY88@yahoo.com. I'll repeat that for you. That is my email. I check it daily, sometimes twice. And this is how we get in touch with you, get back with you. And basically our organization works from referrals or word of mouth. It never fails. Again, KARENMURRAY88@yahoo.com. And thank you for having me today.
Thank you.
Just a minute, we'll ask you questions. We got some concerns. Anyone like to ask Ms. Karen Murray Banks questions?
Yes, I have a question for you. Ms. Banks.
Go ahead, Reverend Ben Fair.
Did I the first question I have for you is, how do you detect if your loved one shows signs of autism?
Okay. It is a neurodevelopmental condition. So you would recognize if the child does not have social skills, they don't want to be in crowds, or they're bumping their heads against the wall to get stimulation. Loud noises may irritate them. They don't like to be in crowds.
Okay.
They don't like to be touched.
Okay.
Okay. As a matter of fact, one of the therapies for autistic children that don't like to be touched is a brushing therapy. You simply get a brush and you go up and down the arms and across the back to help stimulate the nerves and the nervous system. So those are just some things from my parental perspective, but the person who definitely diagnoses the child is the physician.
Okay. And also I have one more question. Did I understand you to say that the condition is not reversible?
Based on my research, they say that autism is at birth
Mhm.
and it is irreversible. Now, some people, stars and other people, say if you put them on a specific diet and you do this and you do that, that it's reversible. But based on the majority of research
Mhm.
and the physicians that I have dealt with personally, the condition is not irreversible. However, it is manageable,
Mhm.
and it's more manageable with early detection and early intervention and early diagnosis.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a question, and thank you, Karen, for coming here today and sharing information about this, important topic, because, you think back, I would say maybe 15 or 20 years ago, you didn't hear about autism.
Mhm.
And so now it's, being diagnosed more. I think early years, it was probably around, but maybe it just wasn't known what it was
Or misdiagnosed.
right. Yeah.
Oh, the child has ADHD.
Mhm.
And it could have been a dual diagnosis, ADHD and autism,
Mhm.
ADHD and a learning disability,
Mhm.
ADHD and a hearing impairment or speech impediment. I mean, it could have been a combination of things.
Okay. So my question is, I think Reverend Fair answered one of my questions. You mentioned autism spectrum, and I think there was another name. Are those just different levels? Or are those just the same name for autism?
It's the same. It's the same name. And the reason I utilize all three is because when I started my journey 24 years ago, it was autism.
Mhm.
And then later on, it became autism spectrum. Your child is on, or your family members on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
And now it's the autism spectrum disorder, because that covers a whole additional range of skills or conditions or things related
Mhm.
to autism. And let me say that no two persons with autism are the same.
Mhm.
And that leads me to talk about briefly the term autism umbrella. When people are diagnosed with autism, they are under an umbrella because everybody's different. You
Right.
won't meet any two autistic people that act the same or that
Mhm.
have the same condition or skill set.
Okay.
Wow.
If someone wants to get more information about autism, they can call you, or is there a website or something they can get information from?
Okay. Yes, I gave you my email, but also your physician can
Mhm.
give you some general information. And I'm a firm advocate. Do some research at your community libraries as
Okay.
well, and seek out organizations that specialize in autism.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. James Jerome Bell, did you have a concern or question?
Yes, what, can a parent or guardian or loved one do, to set up, care for when they're no longer on the same, or when they pass away? So what a care would there be for someone with autism moving forward?
When the guardian passes away, that's taking care. Can you repeat the question? I'm not sure what you.
Yes, when someone who's been taken care of by a guardian or parent, and the parent passes away, what can be put in place for that person with autism's care?
There are several options, and just like with anybody, not just someone who has a disability, we should plan for these things. First of all, once the child or person turns 18, someone has to get legal guardianship of that person. And then working closely with friends or family, in the event something happens to you, someone else would have to then get guardianship and make provisions for that individual. But in the in between time, you want to make sure you talk to the parent or caregiver to find out what their wishes are for their loved one.
Thank
You're welcome.
Okay, I have a question. 2 questions. You mentioned you got an email,
Yes.
and I'm from East Cleveland. And what about telephone?
I can be reached at 216-835-6125. That number is 216-835-6125. In the event that you do not reach me, please leave a message. I will return the call.
Thank you, Dave. Final question. Is there a headquarters or is it for this, like Red Cross or like any other national group? Do they have an office, anything?
There are several offices that cater to autism, but I will mention a few. Josiah's House, Mother to Mother. Those are African American organizations that can help guide you, give you some information, or you may be able to participate in their programs because they also have dealt with a family member with autism, and they can guide you in a
Very
good
good.
direction.
Thank you on a good report. And we want you to come back soon. And you and I have talked earlier about you and Tammy Kennedy coming together. And I want to make that sooner than later.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Mr.
Put you on the
Bibb.
program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Ms. Candace Jones,
Yes, Mr. Bibb.
you have some information for us
I have some great information for you.
to help with this economic dilemma we're in.
So SNAP Partners is an organization that can help out with your financial situations as well. I know Mr. Bibb has given the opportunity for various different networking groups to come on to his show and share the products or wares that they have. And I've spoken a number of times about SNAP Partners. SNAP Partners was originally launched in 2021 as a food delivery service for restaurants to help restaurants out of the struggle that they were in, because restaurants, yes, still rely on delivery service, even though we're in a time now where restaurants have a problem getting people to work, but they still rely on that delivery service. So SNAP Partners helps them out because they only charge $2 per delivery instead of the normal 20, 30, or 40%. Well, SNAP Partners is having a conference this month, and it's in Cincinnati, Ohio. It will be April 28th, 29th, and 30th. The CEO and various different corporate resources will be coming to Cincinnati and talking about SNAP Partners and all the different verticals that are available. And I'm sure something new is going to be launched at that convention as well. Again, the dates are Friday, April 28th through Sunday, April 30th. And the host hotel is the Renaissance Cincinnati downtown. That's where all the festivities and everything will be taking place. I do not have a schedule yet, but that will be coming out later this week. But it's going to be a time where you can network with various different people from around the nation, because there will be people from other states and cities that will be there as well. And you can hear direct from those resources from the corporate office as well. For those that may not be able to travel to Cincinnati, I will be going to Cincinnati, but for those who may not be able to travel to Cincinnati, there is a streaming option as well. You can stream the convention at your own home or location, and maybe even invite some people over to watch it with you.
Absolutely.
So that is available also. So again, Friday, April 28th through Sunday, April 30th, it's going to be an event where you can learn about SNAP Partners, which is food delivery services, the ERC program, which is employee retention tax credit, where a business can potentially get up to $26,000 per W-2 employee as a tax credit. So every business can use something like that, money that they would not normally be getting anyway from the IRS. So I just wanted to share that information, and I look forward to this convention in Cincinnati.
Thank you, Ms. Candace Jones. Is there a chance of you getting us the schedule? So we'll try to insert that in
Yes.
so we can do that as a group, the streaming. Thank you. Okay. Now, Reverend Fair,
Yes, sir.
time to hit the highway now.
All right.
You know you love that highway.
Yes, sir.
We're going up to Detroit
I'm
now.
up to Detroit. All right.
All
Motor
right,
City.
Motor City. Is Mr. James Panicus, are you up there?
Yes, I am.
Tell me you got some hot breaking news for us coming out of the Motor City.
Oh, I got the hottest. I
All
got the
yours.
hottest news.
All right.
Well, I tell you this, Mr. Bibb, it's so hot, man. I can't even tell the difference in the weather.
Oh my goodness.
We got something going on where we have partnered up with a documented billionaire. That's with a B.
My goodness.
And that gentleman has partnered the health and wellness industry with the financial industry and came out with such a unique concept that it is changing lives as we speak. We have something that you can get healthier, but take advantage of a multi-billion-dollar hands-off hedge fund trading platform and don't even know how to trade. You could actually put your money in with the big boys and you can have little risk and make the money that you always wanted to without having to worry about losing your money. And I'm telling you, we bringing this right here to Cleveland. We got something where people can actually have something that they could watch their money grow, pull 100% of it out whenever they want to, and they don't even know how to have to trade. I'm telling you, we got 100% of U.S. funds in and 100% of U.S. funds out. Is that simple. And this is what's so good. And I'm so excited because this is what's gonna happen. Next month, and this news, I didn't even tell you this, Mr. Bibb. Next month, we have an African-American gentleman that is, we call him the $60 million man, is coming to Cleveland to sit down with your VIP guests and your VIP business partners right there in Chandler Park. I don't think they understand that, Mr. Bibb. A gentleman, African-American, who is 56 years old, who has made over $60 million, is coming to Cleveland to sit down with your individuals that want to change their lives, that want to make money, that want to be healthier, that want to be wealthier, and is coming to Cleveland the 15th of May. And he is going to come there and he is going to teach everybody and show them how to become successful. And actually he's coming there the 16th of May. And he is going to show them everything about a company called Aluva. And that company is going to shut the world. It is the next 800-pound gorilla in the MLM industry. There's no other company that's going to be able to touch him. He's going to show them everything about this hands-off trading platform, and it's going to be the next 800-pound gorilla in the industry.
Mr. James Panicus,
Yes.
this is exciting news. I don't know, I'm like Sam Cooke. I don't know much about hedge funds, but I got some big boys that I know, and they got hedge funds. Now, how is James Jerome Bell, Reverend Ben Fair, Pastor James, Miss Murray, Banks, and Miss Kansas Jones, how are we gonna be up there in that big hedge fund arena? Explain how that works to us. We need to know that now. I don't need to wait till the 16th. How are we able to do the hedge business?
Well, here's the thing. Mr. Bibb has already positioned himself. So all you got to do is partner up with Mr. Bibb, because what has happened, this billionaire that we partnered up with has already spent over $700,000 meeting with the FTC, meeting with the SEC, the New York Stock Exchange, getting FBI clearance. And what he did is he got in with the interbank side of trading. See, usually it costs over $100 million just to put your money in with this hedge fund that we're dealing with. But he got clearance to be able to get on this platform for us to put our little money in with these people that trade over $3 billion a day. And we get to put our money in with this. And all they have to do is get with you, Mr. Bibb. And all they have to do is sit down and we just talk to them and tell them a little bit about this program. And guess what? You put your money in, you set it, and you let it grow, and you watch it every day. And guess what? You can pull your money out every day, put it back in, let it grow, pull it out, put it back in. See, we are the first and only legal fund like this in the United States. I don't think you heard me. We're the first and only legal fund like this in the United States.
My goodness, now I heard that. I'm gonna have to break protocol here a little minute. Heavy money, James Jerome Bell. Any questions of Mr. Panicus on the hedge fund piece?
Yes. What are the starting amounts that you actually can invest, and what are some of the positives about investing in a hedge fund as versus a Roth IRA or 401k with your child?
Okay, here's the good thing about it. See, with this, you can put in as little as $200. And the positive about this is, see, we're on the interbank side. Most people, when you hear people losing money with stocks and everything, they're usually on the over-the-counter trading side. And that's the problem. When people go on the over-the-counter trading side, that's when you have the inexperienced traders. That's when they're trying to do it themselves. That's when they go with these MLM companies that try to get you to do Forex and all that stuff. That's the over-the-counter. That's the risky side. When you're on the interbank side, that's when you're in these big hedge funds where you're in with the big banks, you're in with the insurance companies, you're in with that, and they deal with the hedge funds that have little risk but high return. See, the return over here ranges from 2% to 20% compounded daily. And their target is about 6.5% to 7%. In fact, I think last week they were right around 9%, but they've had, I think over the last month, they even reached 12 and 13%. And see, your bank, you put your money in your bank, And think about this. If you put $200 in your bank account, your bank is giving you 0.00, sometimes less than 0.005%. That means you're making less than a half of 1% compounded. You would even be making $1 a month on your money.
All right. I got one more question for you. Reverend Ben Fair got a question.
Sure.
But Reverend Ben Fair want to know what kind of changes do we have to go through to put his money in?
That's a great question. See, over here is, you don't have to go get a brokerage account. You don't have to go set up any account like Coinbase or anything like that. You could take your bank account. You could use Zelle. You don't have to convert it into crypto or anything like that. It's cash in and it's cash out.
Okay, Reverend Ben Fair, you can ask your other question now.
All right. Mr. Bennett, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic. What about yourself?
Doing great, thank you. My question is, let's say you put 500 or 1,000 or $3,000 into the hedge fund account. Now, I understand you to say that the interest rate goes up. It goes from 2 to 13%, and you said that happens every month, right?
2 to 20% daily.
2 to 20% daily. Okay.
Yes, compounded daily.
Compounded daily. Now, does you lose? Do you lose any of that money if the in the course of that transaction?
Now, that is a good question. With any type of investment, there is a possibility of risk. But remember this, you're trading on the interbank side. Now, I want you to ask this question. When was the last time you heard Bank of America losing money on their hedge fund investments? When was the last time you heard, let's say, Chase losing money on their? See, the problem is when you hear stocks and you hear people losing money, those are usually on the over-the-counter investments. The interbank investments, when they do their investing on the hedge funds, there's little to no risk because their hedge funds are big and diverse. See, for example, this hedge fund does have crypto in it, but it is a small, crypto and Forex in it, it's small because it has like crypto and Forex. It has real estate. It has some other things in there. But let's say they do lose some money on Forex, but it's so small, they make it up on the real estate. They make it up on the other stuff where it ends up being a positive, if that makes sense, where other people, their funds, it's mainly invested on the other stuff. And when they take a loss, they end up taking a loss.
Okay.
All right, thank you very kind. Ms. Candace, did you want to ask Mr. James Panicus anything?
No, not at this point. Thank you, Mr. Panicus, for that great information.
Hey,
All
no
right.
problem. No problem.
Thank you, Mr. Panicus. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you at the top.
And on Saturday, be on standby because after Mr. Robert Dean finish, be ready to sign up some people. Thank you.
All right.
Now we're going to the #1 library in the state of Ohio. Because they're in crisis, them being fair. This state of Ohio in politics, you know them by red and blue. This state of Ohio is bloody red. And something getting ready to happen downstate. They were talking about it on TV1 today. Is Director Carlos Baltimore in the house?
Yes, sir, Mr. Bibb and the team. How are you all?
Welcome back. Even though it's on a
Thank you
bad
for having me.
circumstances, we don't have the time that we had, but please tell us what's going on in the state of Ohio.
Yes, sir. Yes, on April 26th, representatives from all of the libraries will be traveling to Columbus for Ohio Libraries Council's Legislative Day. We will be joined by supporters from across the state to advocate not only for library funding, but also some other life-changing bills that will impact our communities. The big impact is House Bill 1, which will be which is a high priority for the Republicans and is very significant. You know, as you mentioned, Ohio is a red state, which means Republicans outnumber Democrats. So we are in a fight to sustain our funding, not only for public libraries, but for municipal, local governments, school districts, and other local municipalities that support urban resources and things in our communities. So what we're trying to do is have our Democratic legislators try to push to offset some of those things that are mentioned in the House bill as well. Also, there are so many other bills that are on the table as well, because this is a budget year. Briefly, I can just tell you about so many bills that will impact our community. Let me look through my list and see what's going on. But you can actually, because we're short of time, you can go on the Legislative Policy Center and look at the bill tracker. And on there, you can see what bills are significant, that our Republicans are considering, that could impact our community.
Okay, now when you go down on the 26th, are there any other library directors going down from
Yes,
Calhoun County?
Yes, this is a statewide initiative. So in Calhoun County, we will have Tracy Strobel from the county. We will have Felton Thomas from Cleveland Public Library, and also Casey Armstrong from Euclid Public Library. I believe Lakewood, Cleveland Heights, Nancy Levin from there, she'll be there. We also will be there promoting all of the services and things and important resources that we do at the library. And you all know the things that we do at East Cleveland Public Library and how it impacts our community. Also the programming, and we do have the Mike Austin Project coming up on Sunday, April 23rd. See, doors open at 3, 4 o'clock. We have a super senior resource fair on Wednesday, May 17th from 11 to 2. This is in partnership with Benjamin Rose Institute and the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging. Another concert on May 21st, the Thomas Ransom Quintet featuring Mike Caddy. We're also going to be doing a pre-Juneteenth extravaganza of the week before Juneteenth on Saturday, June 10th. So the Friends of the Library will be selling tables for vendors who would support a pop-up shop. And we also will have a couple productions, The Road to Freedom and Interactive Juneteenth Celebration at noon. Then also at 1:30, The Lynch and Trial of the Willie Lynch. So those activities will happen on Saturday, June 10th. But again, next Wednesday, we will be in Columbus pushing for support of public libraries and House Bill 1 to really take a look at that and see how it negatively impacts our community. And hopefully we can see some changes from our legislators.
Okay, let me ask the budget that they're working on right now in Columbus, how does it impact the libraries of Ohio?
Well, the impact on the public library fund is about $17 million per year. So that's a 1.76 offset from the billion. Overall, it will be $1 billion reduction in the state income tax. So basically, the House Bill 1 really is, its income taxes are higher for workers, and it wants to eliminate income taxes and move more to a sales tax type of taxing system.
This is Gwen Jarvis. Can I comment on that?
Sure.
Not now, not now. Yeah, I put it on the list, put it down, Ms. Candace. But we got to go on them now. Okay, I was just getting ready to ask, I need you to come back after the visit and I talk to the other African American directors because I want comments from you about the budget and what happened down there. Would you try to
Exactly.
step out and tell them we're making, podcast is making a request to give the public what happened in Columbus on their visit and what they think gonna happen with the budget.
Absolutely. And keep in mind that impact of losses
both
on
of them said
revenues
hello.
will
Yeah,
be
go
on the
right
local
ahead.
government fund and public library fund. So it's just not public libraries, it'll be school districts and local municipalities.
I understand. So that we can move it fast. You have a question, Reverend Fair, concern?
No.
All right. Mr. James Jerome Bell. Question, concern to Director?
Yes, hi, Carlos. This is
How you doing?
James.
How you doing,
I'm
James?
doing well. We know that historically, Ohio and the Cleveland area has had some of the best library systems in the country and probably the world. So, what are the budget constraints moving forward with the Republican-led government in Ohio? Is that a catastrophe for libraries moving forward?
Anytime you have a Republican control, its impact on tax-supported type of agencies is very critical. So we're always in advocacy position trying to sustain our funding. Again, this particular bill impact is $17 million per year for all libraries as we all try to get a slice of the pie. And we all know in our communities as well, trying to push levies in communities that are already, maximum taxed is very difficult. So, we need people to register to vote and we need people to engage in the voting process.
You hit the nail on the head with that register vote. We're gonna deal with that after May 2nd also. Ms. Candace Jones, anything you want to ask Mr. Carlos or anything you want to share with him?
No, thank you. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, Ms. Gwen Jarvis.
Yes,
Dr.
good
Gwen
afternoon.
Jarvis.
Good afternoon, everyone. As far as the Library Advocacy Day, I can't say that word at the present time. For several years, I have spoke before the General Assembly regarding the support of our library, and I will be there. I'm going down with the directors, and I will be there. And one other thing, not only is the funding being affected, is there are several states already have outlawed and trying to close libraries. And when you go into the county libraries, I know the ones that I am familiar with and going to, there's a sign that says save the libraries. I don't know if people ever noticed it, but this sign been up for about 6 years about saving the libraries because they feel that they're like unnecessary. A lot of the history is not, and the funding is affected because they feel the libraries are ineffective. So we will be down there, and as being part of the Ohio Library Council, we are asking everyone on that day to wear blue in support of our libraries. So we can pass the word on our social media and everything to wear blue. I don't know if I'll speak this time because of my, condition I've been in, but I am prepared to be there. I will be there on behalf of the libraries, and I've been doing this for several years.
Okay, very good. We're running out of time, but I'm gonna add that to the Saturday agenda at Chandler Park. From 4:30 to 6:30, we're gonna be dealing with Key Bank, and now we're gonna be dealing with the Ohio State Legislature and the budget. And former Governor Vonovich has the distinction, Director and Dr. Glenn, of being the first governor to ever cut the library budget. In case you didn't know that. Governor George Vonovich from Cleveland, Ohio, was the first one that shocked us when he proposed cutting the budget, and they cut it too, boy. Thank you. All right. Ms. Candace Jones, thank you, Mr. Carlos, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks when you get back and make that report. And Dr. Gwen Jarvis, I need you to make a report too when you get back as part of the program. People get ready. Would you give us our updates on our announcements of events.
Yes, so on Thursday, April the 27th will be the Minority Men's Health Fair from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. You can call 216-957-3862 to register for the free health screenings at a convenient location. Metro health locations are the main campus, Cleveland Heights, or Ohio City. That's where the health fairs will be taking place. And this information was shared by Dr. Charles Maudlin. Also, as Reverend Fair read earlier today, Bibb's video podcast, People Get Ready, will host the summit. What can African Americans do about Key Bank's bad report? That will take place Saturday, April 29th at the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Public Library, 1962 Stokes Boulevard, Cleveland 44106, starting at 1 p.m. Also, there will be a job fair